And welcome to Priceline Stadium for our Monday night game of the Premier League. Welcome, Scott Waddington.
Thank you, Michelle Dendecker. It's wonderful to be here on such a coolish type night, but looking forward to this challenge between Tango and Jags.
Absolutely, Scott. Look, I think both teams have got a lot to prove tonight, and we've had a talk to both coaches, and we'll talk a little bit about that as the first quarter goes on. And we're ready for the centre pass.
Yeah, it looks like Jags have the first centre pass. So they'd be hoping to bounce back from last week and get off to a really good start in the first quarter. I know they had a tough battle, so it'll be very interesting. We've got Lauren Gibbons with the ball at the moment. Oh, was that a break? Yep, looks like it was a break. So Jags will have free possession. And a nice shot on goal by Adele Damasi. All bouncing around.
She's got a bit of height in there, Amber Hearn, so that's going to be quite a tough one for Tango.
Oh, definitely. And at the moment, they're getting a third shot at goal, so Tango would be very disappointed by allowing the first two rebounds to be taken by Jags.
And another one you spoke to early, Scott.
Oh, wow. We're racking them up already, aren't we? Well, that took a bit of effort to get their first goal, but they've got it on the board, so now it's Tango's turn.
So it's great to see Jess Paradiso back in. Jess has had a couple of years off with a couple of children and very speedy. Oh, nice turnover there.
Very good turnover. That was by the wing defence, Scriven.
Captain of Jags.
Definitely. But did you notice, though, that the wing attack there, which was Charlotte Viet, just stood still wanting a still ball, and you just can't do that at this level. Oh, another rebound and another missed opportunity. Wow, I hope this isn't going to be the story of the night. Well, this is going to be 5 shots at goal here, Michelle, for the one goal so far. And yes, they've got their second. Well done to Jags.
And they've got the
good start.
Repeat centre pass coming, so really good start by Jags. A bit of a break from Tango with Jess, trying to flood that line.
Oh, definitely. And straight into Amber as well. I wonder if that's going to be a tactic tonight, Michelle, where they want that quick ball coming in.
And I think what's happening is Jess is actually allowing her to get that front space quite nicely. And we really want to see that Amber actually, well, we try to take that front space away from Amber because, you know, that's just going to be too open, that long bomb into her at all times.
Oh, definitely. But finally, Tango's got a rebound, Michelle. So let's see if they can make use of it.
Good positioning.
Yep. That's from Via into Kelsey.
Yep. Nice shot. Bit of an opposition difference having one shot at goal rather than 6 shots at goal.
Most definitely. And so I know as a coach, I'd love the endeavour of getting the rebounds and actually having more opportunities. But deep down inside, I'd rather them go in the first shot.
So looking direct, see if we can take this ball straight direct.
Look at the space.
A bit of height on that ball. That's not real easy. A bit easy for the defender to come through. So
most definitely. And it looks like at the moment,
front space.
Tango's both defenders are sitting back a little bit on the tall goal shooter.
And I think this is the hard one when you've got a really tall, powerful shooter, is the combination of either beating 2-on-1 and slightly offline, and then when do you shut her out of the game? And force it out like we did then. We really want her to be out of that circle. So the pressure on that first ball coming in is really important to get her moving and not holding.
Most definitely. And as you can see then, Jess Ward forced the goal shooter to come outside the circle. And I think that would be a bit of a ploy that Jackie Blythe would be trying to use with the Tango team, is get the tall goal shooter away from the post.
Nice drive down by Laura Scriven. So we've got some good timing coming down. And again, front option right under that post by Adele. So, you know, Tango not taking away that front space from a defence perspective.
And how good was the drive by Gibbons in the centre? That was fantastic to get circle edge.
It's a better drive, circle edge.
Yep, Charlotte Viet's got circle edge now.
And a nice shot.
Kelsey.
Beautiful shot.
She's just got that wonderful range. You just have that bit of confidence as a coach when you're coaching Kelsey, that when she's on the move and getting that ball in that front position, she just turns and looks to the post every time.
So have a little bit of a look about what Jess is doing. So there's a bit of confusion who's got front space. So when Sarah Raper's peeling off to pick up Adele's sweep, Jess isn't repositioning and taking that front space. That's when she gets caught behind the body of Amber. So that's going to need some footwork from her to recognise when Sarah Raper picks up that sweeping goaler in, so that she's almost ready with the quick feet to take that front position.
I agree 100% as well. At the moment, Jess's footwork is what we call closed.
Yep.
She's really sort of just leaning a little bit onto Adele and not actually allowing herself to turn her feet in the other direction to have come off her. Oh, Charlotte thrown into the hands then. Another really good play then by the wing defence.
Yep, Scriven.
Yep.
It's a couple of nice turnovers from her in this first quarter.
Charlotte tried her best to turn it back over, but the umpire called it back. Now she's still not happy with the setup.
So we've got two goalers in the ring, setting a bit of a screen for each other. And again, front space open.
Long ball. Sarah Raper should have got to that one. She nearly did.
That body's going everywhere at the moment.
There is. Oh, a stepping call. Did not see that one, but the umpires are pretty good at picking up the stepping, so we'll take her word and say it was there. Tango's got quick ball movement, moving it down the court. There's still not that link up yet. The mid-court of Tango's just not quite linking up. Paris and Charlotte, this is a bit
Probably
of a
just needs to be placed just in front of her. It didn't need any air on it. That's what the defenders like. They like that little bit of air in the ball so they can get the fingers up and into the ball. Whereas if it's just placed straight in front, you know, there's no opportunity for that defender to get her hand around.
No, none whatsoever.
I think what I'm seeing so far, Scott, is still in this early part of the season, not real fluid link from the defence line through to that top of the circle. There's a little bit of unpredictability on what their roles are coming down the court. You know, quite often as coaches, we like to see a little bit of structure. Whose role is whose? Who's going to take the drive? Who's going to be the backup? But at the moment, I'm looking at it as really just spontaneous. Who's ready? Who's not ready? And there's a little bit of chaos, organised chaos
That's
at
a
the
really
moment.
good word at the moment. Yeah. I totally agree with you, Michelle. It doesn't look like they're really running to the right places that Jackie would be training them for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the ball's coming in over the top, or it's coming in a really awkward position. I know there's one thing I just noticed at the moment is Scriven's actually playing at goal defence.
Yeah.
So the wing defence must be Willis, one of the Willis sisters.
They've rotated those from the team sheet.
Yes, they've caught us out a little bit there. So apologies for calling Scriven for those intercepts. It was actually Willis. There you go. They caught us out on her first night, Michelle.
She was having plenty of intercepts, so we're lucky we pulled that up, I tell you. I am seeing, though, at least with Tango, they've got a real focus here on let's get that drive to the top of the circle. You know, if we need to, we play back, but otherwise we really want that strong drive to the top, look down and get straight in. So there's a little bit more directness, I think, at this stage from the Tango centre pass options. So we'll have a look at it this time.
Yes, definitely. Oh, nice roll off the centre, but
nice hands.
Through into the hands again. That's twice the Tango mid-quarters have done that. So I know that'll be something that Jackie will try to address, is to get that ball not over the top of the defender, but actually underneath those hands. Don't want to be thrown up and over, do we, Michelle?
No,
being the next defender, that you would come out and pick one of them off from up here, I think.
Take the step around or step back and get the release up nice and high.
What they're doing well too, Jags, Michelle, at the moment from the attacking point of view, they're working the triangles.
Yeah, they are.
The mid-court on the outside, the goalie in the middle, they're throwing that ball around and finding their goalie every single time.
I have to say, Scott, though, I'd be saying to my centre, stay on that circle edge. I don't want you coming back for your centre pass until we've scored that shot. You know, it's just too many times we get these defenders to tip that ball out and it's an easy get. So really important to keep those positions that little bit longer.
Yes, yeah.
It's just a thrown away ball.
I know some coaches like quick ball, but you still got to get the goal in before you worry about moving that next ball on. Nice positioning once again by Adele. She's finding some nice ball in close.
So you're probably going to ask me, but I'm going to ask you, coach to coach. If you were coaching and you've been a past coach of the Tango Netball Club for the past 3 years, and I think myself before you, what feedback would you be looking to give to Sarah and Jess at this time? You know, because obviously they are getting a little beaten in the circle at this point.
Oh, they are. But I think some of the problem at the moment, Michelle, is actually the mid-court on the outside are finding themselves on the wrong side of the body. So they're allowing those triangles to be set up because there's no Tango player actually in between the two mid-quarters. Yep. So even though Jess and Sarah aren't getting their hands on the ball, I'd be still talking to that mid-court about, you know, don't just sit there and watch the ball get thrown around. Work hard to try to disrupt them and like what you said earlier, get the ball up in the air so Sarah and Jess can come out and have a crack at it. So even though I'd be disappointed that they're not doing good footwork, still the mid-court. So it's a little bit of a team problem, I think, for Tango at the moment.
What I am enjoying about Tango is that they are being direct. The only thing I've watched from Tango in their forward line for the last few minutes is actually only have one option for the pass. So when Jess takes that beautiful lead and she turns, she's got Charlotte Viet driving down, but we don't have another option. That's where I'd like to see Kelsey come out of the circle and just give the defenders something to think about, because at the moment, the goalkeeper, she can sit in that circle and just hunt Charlotte Viet hitting that circle edge. And that's what she's doing.
100%
so we
right,
need
Michelle.
something else happening down there to stop that goalkeeper driving out and hunting those balls. So there's a fair bit happening up in this forward line, which keeps the defenders really busy.
Oh, at the moment, yeah, Tango are very busy. That ball's finding circle edge. It's coming over the top of Jess Ward. She can't get up to that ball because they're finding really good positioning.
It's a beautiful drive. Now we've had a second option, but we've still only got one option for the passer.
Yes.
So I'd love to see, and every time I'm tracking Tango's movements and I'm looking at the passer, she's got one option. And that's not enough to keep those defenders busy.
No.
So we really need those two options at the ball.
Is there anyone from the back at the moment coming out and offering a reset option? Because I don't even think that's happening either.
No, not at the moment. So I think having those two options and even a goal shooter presenting at times is a real viable option there.
Oh, there you go. These Jags players are having a lot of shots to score their goals as well,
Let's
Michelle.
have a look at this one, Scott. So we've got Jess again. Who's the option? One. We've got
Reset.
wing attack. We have got a reset on that, but still now we need a goaler presenting.
Oh, there you go.
So we didn't have a goaler presenting. We had two goalers in the circle waiting, and that's where we need someone really presenting as a second option.
100% right with your comment before where you said about sitting back on Kelsey and then coming out and having a go at the ball.
So let's see what happens now. We've got one now, we've got two options. So she had a choice. We've got two options now. So, you know, being able to at least keep those defenders busy, fake it, use the other option and keep their heads spinning is always a really good thing.
No, I totally agree. And I know we had a bit of a play back in the day that we called driver connector, which is all about driving long to draw the attention, but actually throw to the one connecting in behind the drive. And at the moment, Tango haven't quite got that
They've only
happening.
got one option. So there's one, and fine when it's direct.
Yes.
But, and every 1 in 4 you will happen. But if you've got a really good defender sitting back there as goalkeeper, she'll read that every time. So let's see if they can change up those two leads.
Definitely. And let's have a look at Jags. How easy is it going to be for them?
That's
or
an
they're
easy
playing
one.
an offline defence now,
they've
Michelle.
got a bit of an offline, but not connected. There's only one doing it.
And you know what that did? It just made them backpedal all the way to the post. No one actually went to the player with the ball. That's what can happen sometimes when you try to play a space defence rather than a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So once again, yes, if you're going to do that, you actually got to make an impact. You can't just sit in a space and keep backpedaling all the way to the post.
It was interesting. I was talking to Jackie this week about, look, what are you looking for? And she said in particular they like to just play fast ball.
Nice hands
But
again.
what happens is when they want to change it up and throw an offline defensive structure like a box, which is what they're trying to do, they haven't had a lot of time to cement it. And what happens is someone will call it, but the 4 players involved aren't committed to the box. And like you saw then, it just becomes an unsuccessful box. So again here,
Well, that was better because Sarah actually was in front of the player and didn't allow the Jags player to actually get in front. So if you are still playing an offline type defence, you still got to attack the ball. That's the most important thing.
So again, we haven't got those multiple leads. So
so what we've got to be thinking now is Tango needs to change something up in attack. Because Jags are actually playing really well. And I must admit, the wing defence is getting a lot of ball.
She is.
And she's playing so well for Jags. So maybe there might be a bit of a swap there with Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Or maybe a different strategy. What are you thinking there, Michelle?
Yeah, interesting. I think just a really fine tweak. I think a fine tweak from Jackie to her players around being a little bit more off, not so parallel.
No.
We actually want them a little bit offset. So, you know, you get that driving first lead, but the role of the trailing lead or the second lead or the split lead that some of our coaches call it has to be simultaneous. So when that first lead really comes out, we want that second player to read the next space and to be actually simultaneously taking it. So I think just a bit of a tweak between what's happening with Charlotte, Jess Paradiso, and who have we got sitting in the centre? Paris. A little bit of that split lead stuff starting to work a bit more closely aligned. So they're sitting a little bit too long rather than continuing their drives.
Fixed?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a coachable thing, and that's our job as coaches.
Oh, most
is
definitely.
to fix that, to fix those things.
Sometimes we're too quick to change, and we don't actually coach them through the situation. From a Jags point of view, though, I'd be extremely happy with their intensity and their work rate at the moment. I know they probably wouldn't be too happy with their result from last week, so they've come out with a real intent to actually play well. So Jim would be very happy with what he's seeing.
And there's multiple leads happening here. Oh, well, that was very lucky. And use the post.
Oh, use the post.
Can't use
that won't come out very often. Well, Tango's turn. They've got 3 seconds to get that ball in there. Are they going to have time?
No. I don't know if Kelsey Williams was actually even ready for that. I think
she did not look ready at all.
She did not look ready. But
never stop until that whistle was gone, people.
Absolutely. So, yeah, good wind-up. We've got 15 Jags, 11 to Tango. And quite interesting. I suppose Tango would be a little bit disappointed about that start, Scott.
Yes, I think so, Michelle. At the moment, they're sort of throwing into hands and not quite connecting with the mid-court. The defenders are trying something different. They were one-on-one, and then it looked like they were playing off a little bit. But there doesn't seem to be any structure to actually what they want to gain from what they're doing with their changes. So it's really important that you don't just change for the sake of it. You've got to have that purpose about what you want to gain from that.
Yep.
So Jackie would be sitting down now with the Tango team thinking, well, you know what, we can play a lot better than this and maybe tweak it like you were saying, Michelle, and find some little balance to what she can think is the best that Tango can play.
I think, in all honesty, I think the timing was one thing that she'd be probably trying to address. I thought Jess's timing was spot on. I think when the defenders turned, Jess was ready. But I'd like to see the timing of the other forward attackers switching on that little bit quicker. You know, we really want Kelsey and Charlotte to be getting their timing perfect in relationship to what Jess is doing. And that way, we've got so many options to be presented. It'll flow. You'll have more creativity down in that forward line and heaps of options to be able to be used. At the moment, I just think they're limiting their effectiveness in that forward line. So
totally agree. And I know this is a tactic that we used to use last year when we found that we couldn't quite connect to Kelsey properly. I would push my goal attack to the starting position inside the circle.
Yeah.
And we had a play that we called wing attack as the line. So they have total space. Goal defence sometimes goes all the way back, or sometimes she's caught in no man's land a little bit. And we would either try to find a wing attack on the line or throw back to a wing defence or goal defence in attacking position though, past the centre circle. And we would have that goal attack flying hard and fast outside of the circle to create a bit of a doubt in the defender's mind of who's going to actually go with her, while Kelsey's trying to set a screen for Jess. And it just made a little bit more space for the wing attack to actually move on that line without a goal defender in her way. Look, I wonder whether something like that might happen.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is we've looked at the centre pass receives for Tango. 80% have almost come through Jess. Now, as a goal defender, played a lot of goal defence in my life, I'd actually really enjoy that.
You would?
Well, because she's in no danger zone.
No.
Like, for her to take that ball means, as a goal defence, I have an opportunity to make that next second phase ball to the wing attack quite difficult. So that whole role reversal around putting that wing attack on the line or widening up both initially makes that second phase connection to the top of the circle much more difficult for a defender. So really like to see some variety off the receive. So we've got Jess receiving, and again, very, very almost simultaneous that it will go to the wing attack.
You see what's happened though, Michelle? Sorry to butt in.
No.
There's a change in the midcourt.
That's right.
Tango have changed. Shay Reville has come on to play wing attack.
Yep.
Charlotte Veer has moved to centre,
which
means that Paris Vince has gone to the bench. Can you see any other changes out there, Michelle?
Not at the moment. We're unfortunate in the fact that we're not up with the scripts that come to us, Scott, with all the changes.
No.
So I know we're both very good at just identifying, but I can't see too many other changes at the time.
Well, why would you change Jags?
No. Why would you?
Why would you change them? Exactly right. They're playing so well at the moment.
So here comes your sweep. So you've done a really nice job at the double. And the sweeps come through, but they've had
Sarah read that very well.
Very good footwork in watching the sweeping goaler coming in, but not coming off too early.
No, I
So let's have a
agree.
look. We've got two options. Probably could have just swung that ball straight over and into Kelsey there. So just keeping that vision up for that swing ball.
It was good to see that Charlotte found some space without a player on her, though. She found it really difficult at wing attack to find any space at all.
Nice shot. So getting interesting. They're coming back, which is really nice.
Goal. Tango's got the next centre pass, so maybe they can build some momentum
So we've got one, got a second, a little bit of a non-vision from Charlotte just taking off through the middle there. Keep the vision up.
Yes.
Have a look at where the lead's coming from and then take the other channel. So we talk a lot about channels in attack line. And channels, for those that are listening on TV, are really the two wide channels of the court and the middle channel of the court. And we want balance in attack. So if we see a drive coming through the middle of the court, we want the other players reading where that space is on the side. So we can use a swing ball or a direct ball. So that's a really important one, that we want the players to recognise where that space is.
Well, that's a really good point. And defenders generally go with the hardest moving player.
They do.
So if they are showing a lot of attention to the one that's driving the hardest, you'll find that the best pass is probably to somebody else that's coming in behind that lead.
They've got their nips again at the goal.
They are.
First few minutes of every corner, they end up getting the goalie nips and they can't get that ball in.
They've given Tango so many opportunities and they're just not capitalising on it.
We've jinxed them.
Finally they get one. But yeah, Jags have really got to tidy up their shooting
here we go.
percentages.
We've got two options there. So we've got two beautiful options. We've got, and also an opportunity there. We had the top of the circle beautifully open there. So we had multiple options for them to use. You know, we had that hard ball that she gave to Jess, but we also had a swing ball to the top. So
do you think it's because Shea Reveal did a beautiful lead straight up that middle channel? That,
and
like
it opened it up nicely.
It certainly did.
So again here, we've got a shooter up the middle. We want to see those two. We've also almost got there a top, a side, and good clear options to be able to use the triangle.
That was a triangle right then and
there.
Perfect. Yep. And one shot goal. So Jags need more of that. It was really good work once again by the mid-quarters there.
And it'd be really good for the spectators to have a look at what the circle edge feeds look like. So when they are coaching, and there are a lot of coaches out there looking, let's have a look at the position. We've got one on a 45, another on a 45. If they get too much wider than that, we ask one of them to reposition to the top again so that they're ball side. So we can swing that ball to the top and not have two really wide options from our wingers. So really important to have that. So we, at the moment, we need a reposition here from the mid-court. Drive to the top, someone, yes.
Lovely
and we
resetting
want someone
options.
Coming through the middle here, just to open up that, yes.
Good high
So
hands.
we've got that open through the middle. And now we again have multiple options. So it's really nice when the players start to recognise the space.
Sorry, Michelle.
No, really nice when the players see that space and just take those drives.
Yes, most definitely. And look, it's nothing worse. Jags worked so hard to get that possession inside the circle then. And then unfortunately got a stepping call.
So that's a really nice forward line structure. We've got a wide take in the circle, perfect top position from the midi, and then straight back in. So that keeps those defenders really honest in there. So I'm really enjoying seeing that change up down in that circle end with a lot better positioning from the mid-court.
So do you think with the changes that Jackie Blythe has made for Tango, it has opened up that middle of the court a little bit more?
Yeah, I'd still like to see some alternate structures to their centre pass.
Yes.
I mean, they will become very predictable to other teams. Not so much right now, Scott, but if I'm sitting here playing them next week, I'm going to be thinking about, well, what does that look like for second phase if Jess is just taking every centre pass? So really want to see if we can involve the other mid-court players and change a bit of the structure in their entry to their forward line. A bit more unpredictability.
And once again, Michelle, being an ex-goal defender, wouldn't you love your goal attack getting every centre pass?
Yeah, wear her out.
Wear her out, exactly right. That was going to be my point. She'd be so tired at the end of each quarter, and then towards the end, if Jess... obviously, he's had a few years out of the game as well, so maybe that's a bit of a ploy that they want her to be getting every centre pass.
So have we got two leads? So we've actually haven't. We've got Charlotte there sitting there thinking, what's my role in this? And that's where, as the games go on, we want to see her really driving, on that and not having that hesitation there. So
no hesitation, I agree 100%. But gee, that was another great touch then by Willis.
So here we go. Someone drive long. Yeah, we've got a cross court.
Nearly got the ball.
Oh, yeah.
They're Scriven, nice and steady.
Pass.
She's
straight drive.
Nice and steady for them.
Oh, that's just poor execution of that one. And nice timing for the intercept. So
Yeah, so Mira Gervin, the wing attack from Jag, she's actually been doing quite well with Gibbons at the moment. I think that connection's starting to work.
Someone at the top, so we've got nice top. Yeah, good job.
Look at that.
It's opened up really nicely for them.
That was that hard move that we're talking about.
Yep.
If you've got someone doing a hard move, the defenders go to it and it opens up over the top. So Tango have taken the lead here.
Yeah, they have.
Wow, that took me by surprise a little bit. Sorry, everyone, but they've got a 2-goal lead at the moment after being 4 down at
screen. So Charlotte set a nice screen and good front position from Kelsey Williams. And she's a beautiful shot at post, so, you know, it's really lovely to have. I'll say that. I better not jinx her. I should say that after the ball's gone through the ring, Scott.
No, most definitely. I know Kelsey's been lucky enough to win the Goal Shooter Award a couple of times for Netball SA, and I know she made Goal of the Year Goal Shooter of the Year in the Team of the Year last year, which was really exciting for her.
Sarah Raper. Oof, she saw that, though.
Yes, she did see it. Couldn't quite get to it, unfortunately. Jags are still finding good circle edge.
Yeah, they are.
Tango is starting to get some opportunities for that ball, though. So I know Tango's defence has certainly stepped it up a bit.
Oh, we've changed up. Good.
There, Shaverville's got the centre pass, Michelle.
Yeah, I do. That was.
You'd be clapping that one.
Yeah, I was. I was looking at the back liners, just saying, look, if you're going to back it up from the back line, you want one driving the outside, but you need one of those defenders driving the inside line. So, you know, making sure that if you're a centre and you turn around, nice intercept.
That was.
That you can just
no
dish
contact
it off.
on that one?
No. Dish it off to someone really quickly off that centre pass and not have them sitting behind a body. So.
No, most definitely.
Cross court.
I know as coaches we always want a definite move.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we don't want people to hesitate on a lead because then it will hesitate on the pass.
Yeah, nice work, Adele.
Let the passer make the decision who they want to give the ball to, but make the lead definite. Okay, so there's a bit of frantic netball going on there, wasn't it? That's
didn't look in.
Shut down. Yeah.
Looking first.
Adele's doing a lot of work on the outside, isn't she? Oh.
Okay,
I thought that was Jag's ball then.
Nice.
Nice contesting.
So staggering from Charlotte. So seeing the nice drive. Yes, one strong lead. Good.
That was a nice roll out by Sarah. I don't know if you noticed that or you picked that up. But she held facewood towards the player and then rolled out to receive that ball. So that's a great move from a goal defence.
And there's some connection now. You know, we talk about connections a lot in netball. We talk about combinations and we talk about connections. And
we do.
What we want is their awareness on each other so that they can get their timing. And that's about knowing where their teammates are and trusting the fact that someone's going to do their job.
Does that come at training, Michelle?
It comes with a combination of talking, action. Like you want to see them not hesitating, because if you see someone not hesitating, you're really confident to give that second lead. But if you see hesitation, everyone gets hesitation. So it's all in. You know, you've got to trust and be in.
Oh, no. Tango got another rebound and now they're throwing the ball away again. So that was great work by Adele Damasi, being in the right spot, as all goal attacks should be, following their goal defender down the court and putting pressure on. And good work, Jags, and good work, Adele.
Close game.
It is a close game. There's a lot of turnovers happening. There's some good goals happening.
Oh, nice drive, Jess.
Quick release. Look how quick that was. But Chelsea wasn't ready for it.
So we've got beautiful position again at the top, and we need someone coming through. I would have liked to see Jess Hazel just pop through the top on that, because we've got a really long shot there for Kelsey, and that was instigated by that other defender sitting there. So had Jess come through the middle, we would have had a closer shot from that.
You know what, Michelle? There must be something wrong with that goalpost, because Jags missed a lot of shots in the first quarter, and now Tango are doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there some glad wrap on that goal ring?
It's the Nissan post.
No, it does happen sometimes. Goalies get the yips. You fix one problem in one area and then something happens in another. That's why we love to coach.
Let's have a look at the shooting action. Just have a look and see what's happening. So we've got a real curl on the fingers. Can you see that?
I can see that.
Rather than the shooting action really lifting height, we say an upside down J. You know, we want height, we want that middle finger to be a high release and then to have a flick on it. She's actually almost getting a curl of a hand on her shooting action.
The power seems to be coming from the wrist of the hand rather than the body.
So let's have a look at, I think Adele was quite beautiful in her flick of her wrist. Even there, finishing at the top, not finishing on the curl of the finger coming over. So they're not getting that back spin, which means that when it's hitting the top of the ring, it's bouncing.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So Just
So-
really important to have a look at getting a bit more backspin off that ball so we get a bit more height.
So that can come down to just simple technique,
Yeah,
and the
just
coaches
training.
can easily talk to them about
Yeah.
fixing up their technique.
And probably just a few cue words, you know yourself.
Cue words, exactly.
Cue words for them.
Yep.
You know, what cue words do you need to use on the court? It might be just middle finger.
And
or
sometimes that
flick.
can come from your teammate that's actually in the
Absolutely.
goal circle.
Oh, very
another
nice
great
work.
touch.
Well done.
Yep. That's Willis once
Yeah,
again.
it's Willis again.
I think that's the younger sister.
Yep.
So is that Taylor?
I don't know who the youngest
Oh,
is.
no,
We don't have their
Alicia,
ages. Is it
Alicia,
Alicia,
yeah.
is it? I don't have their birth years, so good pick up.
No.
20 all. We're looking at 20 all, 3 minutes 35 left until half time. So really looking for a strong third quarter when we get here. That's what we call the championship quarter.
We certainly do.
So it's going to be a nice tight game. Much better shot, much better release.
Well, that's a goal off the turnover. So even though
So we've got double centre pass now.
that's
Yep.
right, Tango had opportunities to pull away a little bit.
Straight
Now
down
Jags
through the
are
middle.
coming back.
They're a little bit slower on their transition, Jags, at the moment. Really, you know, they've got a little bit of confusion around what that second phase is going to look like, whether one's a long or one's a short.
I agree totally, and I also think that Tango have changed up defensively a
Yeah,
little
they
bit of being
have.
what they've been doing, and Jags now starting to find a way to break that down. So maybe Tango need to rethink a little bit their strategies on the centre
Nice drive,
passes.
Sarah Raper, and long to
Lovely.
Jess
Look at
Paradiso.
that.
And let's see if we
One-on-ones.
can just finish this off with a beautiful long shot. Ah,
Swish,
swish.
Don't you love
and
that when they
don't
go
you love
swish?
that when it's 1, 2, 3, and
Yes.
it's straight under the post.
Off a rebound as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, nice
didn't,
pick up.
Didn't run onto the ball then, unfortunately.
And, read that. She could have taken that. And another red ball.
She contested?
And a step, I reckon. We missed that one.
I think so. But no, Jags are working so hard to get this
They
ball into the
are.
circle, and it's come back out
So
again.
stay in front. Stay in front. Yeah, use that front space. Keep feet moving. Much better.
Well done.
Much better. Just that
No,
extra
they've called
step.
it back.
Yeah.
What is it? Contact? Possession?
Yeah, I reckon
Offside? Who
all
knows
of
with
it.
these umpires sometimes? Maybe we need an
I reckon
umpire up
there's a
here
bit
with
of,
us, Michelle.
Yeah, I reckon there's a bit of tiredness creeping in here, and you can't blame the players. I mean, a lot of these players are not match conditioned.
No, I agree.
We've been training, well, a lot of these girls have been training since November, and with COVID around, there is nothing the same as match conditioning.
I agree 100%, and I know Tango started their pre-season quite early, as I'd imagine Jags would as well, hoping to start weeks and weeks ago, but they haven't. So the reality is they just train and train and train. So they're probably that keen to get out there and play that sometimes mistakes will happen.
And also just not being able to train during the COVID restrictions. You know, we had to go back to, not training indoors.
Lovely
and these,
roll to the post. See that, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kelsey couldn't do that 2 years ago. She just had a one trick in her kit bag, and she'll hate me for saying that.
She will.
But the reality is she's got more tools in her
cross-court.
kit bag now, that's for sure. Oh,
See, they're
that
going
sloppy
cross-court.
play.
So again, connect downwards, looking down.
Yeah.
Getting the timing right. So if your timing is out, what happens is it's all parallel.
Oh, once again, great read by Lauren Gibbons. That was really good play.
She's just come back from playing in Western Australia, or was that Maeve? Maeve
Guerin's just come
won
back.
a premiership over there for the
That's right.
Warriors in Western Australia.
What fantastic experience to come back and be able to give that experience to this young
absolutely.
Jags team. I know
22, 21.
Jim would be very happy with the
He
effort
will.
that he's seen in this first half. Couple of errors
again,
towards.
flick on the ball.
Oh, they've got to fix that.
Yeah, they do. Just a little tweak, halftime tweak, just to fix up that shot and the execution at the very end.
Yep. I
But
know
Jess
no one
is
goes
really
out there
aware.
to deliberately miss their goals, but the reality is it needs a word from the coach
It
or it needs
does.
from somebody from the player to get Amber back on track again.
And they're going to miss that opportunity, and we're going to go into the halftime break with a 22-21 lead to Tango.
Tango, after being down 4 at the first quarter.
They'd be very happy with that. And I think what was most impressive from Tango's perspective was the intensity picked up in the forward line. We had multiple options. I really enjoyed what was happening around the circle edge in attack for Tango with the multiple options in there. What's your thoughts?
No, I think it's one each so far this quarter. I think the first quarter definitely went to Jags, second quarter went to Tango. So it'll be really interesting to see what they pull out of their bags for the third quarter.
Yeah, look, we'll see you back any moment. We'll go to the halftime break, and thanks for being with us on Spacequake Sports. And great to have you back for the Tango Jags game, Scott. It's been a really interesting first half. We've got Tango up by 1. It's pretty cold in here.
It is a little bit cold at the moment, but I bet you the players out there wouldn't be feeling the cold at all.
They'd be loving it.
They'll be getting a little bit of heat from their coaches, I think, as well, because there's quite a few errors, there's a few missed goal opportunities. You know, there's some strategies that the coaches, I think, will be saying to their players now to implement the game plans. I think the intensity and the work rate from both teams is outstanding. That nobody goes out there to make an error or goes out to make a mistake or a missed goal, but the reality is you want to capitalise from those errors that the opposition do. Yeah. So it's really important to make sure that when you do have possession of the ball, that you minimise your error rate.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, talking to Jackie through the week, what she wanted to identify was that Tango played fastball all the time. Didn't have a lot of variation, so she was looking for that variation. I thought that quarter there was a lot more variation in their speed. It wasn't just quick fastball. There was a bit more accuracy of where they wanted to be in the forward line. So I think she'd be pretty pleased with that. I think what I have seen, though, is her take away that defensive option of playing a box. I don't think they're quite ready for it yet. You know, they threw it out a couple times, but it's something that really needs a lot of work at training, as you'd know, to really solidify what a box looks like from a defence perspective.
Oh, definitely. I know last year my strategies was to play a box defence on stoppages.
Yeah.
So if the ball went out of play or there was somebody standing out of play in the middle of the court, I like my players to set up because it gave them time to get back there and to get themselves into the right position. I think at the moment you're 100% right in saying that they're just not getting their feet right. They're not quite getting in the right positions. So maybe stay one-on-one.
So we've got a change for Jags down in the forward line, Scott. We've got Amber's actually left the court at the moment.
That's BJ.
So that's BJ.
BJ Braum. She was the goal shooter from last year. She is very, very good player. She's got a few tricks that you will probably see.
Wow, okay.
Certainly will change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Amber was a great target under the post, maybe missed a few opportunities, whereas now you'll see BJ will come out of the ring.
Oh, that's a really nice read off that. A low release, but good job from Charlotte there. Or was that Paris Sinclair, I think?
It's gone back the other way.
Yeah.
But going back onto BJ.
Oh, cross-court again.
Yeah, she certainly will be doing rolls to the post and opening up and giving other opportunities. Don't know about the shooting for goal because this side does not seem to be very accurate. Oh, nice touch by Charlotte. Oh,
and
the
they've turned it over.
Yes.
She has called
It's gone the other way. Wow, Charlotte didn't believe that one either. I think she's ready to stand out of play. Okay, so Tango, you've got a great opportunity
nice
here.
touch again.
They can maybe string a couple together. Okay, goal attack out.
So straight out. Come on, swing that ball. Actually, that should have swung straight over. There was no one there, and she had a beautiful screen, so she could have just turned off the screen.
100%.
Kelsey.
If you saw that on your screens there, Kelsey should have set a screen because it would have opened up the other mid-quarter, so the ball goes over the top to the mid-quarter. Then it goes to Kelsey under the post coming off the screen.
Come on, drive, centre, right to the pocket. We've got Gibbons and top. So we've actually got wing attack, and I know it's Meave, I think, on the wrong side there. So when the ball's on this side of the circle, Scott, we want it on the ball side so we can swing that ball as a hard, flat ball to the top, or a little bit more angle so we can swing that ball over for the screen.
Which is a good point. Okay, Tango's got the ball in the middle of the court. They've got a lead.
Now let it go.
From Jess, with Shay coming in behind the lead of the goal attack. Just got to be careful that you're reading off the goal attack in front of you and not running for the same positioning.
So let's look at the timing, because I think their timing's a little bit early at times, and then they end up parallel. So that's a better drive, so we need a second one. So still parallel, and we're parallel again.
Oh, sorry, there's been another change to Tango as well. Wing defence, Nicole Bruce Gordon has left the court, and Paris Sinclair
has gone to
wing defence. So Paris is in the centre in the first quarter, but I know this is a more natural position for her,
Paris,
I suppose.
yes it is. And she's had the opportunity, I know, last year in 2019 to be doing a fair bit of training with the Sassy group. She's had come back from a major knee injury.
She has.
And doing quite nicely in her rehabilitation and back on the court this year, which she'll love. Guess
where she got her knee injury from, Michelle?
Where?
From playing football at school.
Oh,
football. Who wants these girls playing football? We don't want that.
Yes, okay. Jess. Nice
bit
drive.
Of erratic ball then, but
and
Tango's got it back.
Oh, it was on the first time.
It was on the first time, and that's not the confidence to give that ball yet. Yep. It's a new combination. These two haven't worked together for very long.
Nice. Like to see that she stays on that hold that little bit longer, Kelsey. So she really protects the space and doesn't have to move off that hold for that feed. She's a big, strong girl.
Yeah, so the ball goes to the space rather than the player that's moved into the space. Yes.
So again, coming through the middle. I'd still like to see that lead come through the middle so we're not so cross-court. Get too many cross-court balls and that's the result. So bit of timing, a little bit more on your prelim. Get that prelim dodge working and then nice direct drives at the ball.
Definitely. What happened there was, unfortunately, when Paris took off to run down the court, she stepped offside. So it was a wonderful turnover there.
Yeah, nice shot.
But unfortunately, it was given back to Jags.
So still close.
Yes, definitely. It's goal for goal at the moment. Jags are putting a lot of pressure on their defence.
So a little short stat on the sideline here, Scott.
Yes.
Jags haven't won a Premier League game for the last 2 seasons.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
2018 and 2019. So that's why they want to win this game.
They want to win this game.
They want to win this game.
Yeah, I don't underestimate their endeavour to do that.
No.
I have coached before where we've gone the whole season without winning a game.
I have too.
Yes, and it's hard to take, but you know what? You can learn a lot from your losses
get top.
as well.
Good girl.
So I know Jim will be plugging away, trying to get the best out of this group.
Sometimes nice step back, and a beautiful flick. See the flick coming off that hand. So
that was beautiful.
Very nice step back. She had a good defensive lean over that shot. So, yep.
Nice
Again,
drive.
Don't want to go parallel. Want one driving through, opening that space. Come up, Jess. Need a goaler coming out now just to open up.
Lauren Gibbons is doing a lot of work off the ball on Charlotte at the moment.
Yeah,
she's really denying her circle edge drive.
And nice shot.
Great work from the Jag centre. And for all those budding netballers out there, because you've got the centre bib on, it's not all about attack. You've got to defend as well.
That's a beautiful piece of play. That's what you want to see, the timing of the connection between the wing attack, goal attack. And
so
it can be so simple. Yep. So again, we want that connection now. So we haven't got that second lead from Jess then. That was the delay in that release and hence the breakdown. So really want to be looking at two connections very quickly and having the option of picking which one. So, yep, beautiful. Nice inside position from Kelsey to open up the post.
It was very good. Okay, Jags got an easy goal last centre pass. Let's see what Tango does to respond.
Where's a second? Another option, beautiful straight option in. And have we got to, yeah, so there we go. So multiple options for there then.
Jess Ward just thought Sarah was going to take her, but Sarah was looking at the other player. She's got to still stay with her player.
So one quick transition, just not put right out in front. I think Jess Paradiso is doing really well to come back and have a, pretty nice fluid entry into a Premier League. Welcome back, Jess.
I agree, definitely. And also, I don't know if you noticed, Michelle, but Jags have changed their tactics defensively on Tango. They've actually got Willis double teaming with Scriven on Jess Paradiso on the centre passes.
Well, what did we say early in the centre passes? She's taking every centre pass?
Yes. It's like they're allowing Shay Reveal to just get that centre pass by herself, but cutting down the second phase and not letting Jess get that next ball.
Yep. So now we'll see, well, what does Tango think of that? Have they picked it up? That's what we want our players to do, is to identify what's happening and change it up.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yep. So, nice quick release.
Okay, Jags are scoring quite...
Cross court.
As soon as you're about to give them a praise, what happens? Something goes wrong.
That's good timing. So we've got beautiful timing. Finish it off, Kelsey.
This is Kelsey's spot.
Yeah,
yes, she loves that ball there. Okay, now let's watch the wing defence, whether she's going to be going on to the double team. No, she's gone one-on-one.
So we've still got a long ball down.
Great work.
Come on, drive in, Jess. Oh.
Yeah, Kelsey's quite comfortable on the hold at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
The Jags need to change that up on Kelsey.
Yeah, quite comfortable. So we've got a 1-2. Where's
Goal
the second lead coming through? Beautiful.
Oh,
and
lovely
that's lovely
move,
timing.
Adele. Lovely.
Yeah, lovely timing. She plays a beautiful role in there. Her timing is very good. Spent some time in the reserves, spent some time in Premier League, so she'll be keen to really cement her place in this Premier League side.
Oh, most definitely, and it looks like there's a good opportunity for her.
Oh, very nice
vision.
open look. I thought she was
Jess Paradiso?
Yeah, that was Jess Paradiso.
See, that comes from years of experience, I think.
Ability to be
First
just
season
quickly
playing together, but still understands where space is. Good work.
Got Charlotte just sitting there. Is that Charlotte in wing attack or that's...
No, wing attack's Shay Reveal.
Shay just sitting there a bit long for me, Sit there,
What does she need to do?
I think sit there, but then get out again and open the space up, just so she stops that defender sitting in the spot.
We talk about that, don't we, from an attacking sense of view?
Yeah.
If you make a lead, well, then clear out once you've been not used.
Don't
if you haven't been used,
space.
Don't come back for another lead again. Get out of there.
Get out, create the space for someone to drive into.
Come back in again. No, I totally agree.
Because what happens, you keep your defenders busy. If you don't do that, Scott, your defenders are able to just sit in the space and read it. Nice work. Came around nicely,
Being a past defender, you would love for that to happen.
Yeah, I like them when they don't want to move too much, Scott.
Sarah, good hands. Umpire couldn't see it because she was behind the contest there, but from up here, Sarah got down to that ball very well. But in the end, it's a goal to Jags, which is exactly what they've got to keep doing, putting pressure on that scoreboard.
And they really need to now start... Oh, that's a shame because they... I was just about to say too early. They need a couple of turnovers here and they really need to start pulling this back now because this is third quarter.
Yes.
And they really need 2 or 3 turnovers.
See, that was a good read then, but didn't quite get to the ball.
Oh, put it down a bit lower,
but
Jess.
Paris controlled that very, very well.
Yeah, nice shot.
Nice goal. Yeah, you're right. It's probably where the old days you'd be looking at maybe getting an injury here to somebody and slowing the momentum down a little bit.
You probably wouldn't want it to pull out any further than this, Scott. You're looking at this going, now we need a couple of quick turnovers. Otherwise, we're just going to have to pull them in and have a quick chat.
So defensively, would you be calling it on court if you're on the court at the moment?
Yeah, if I was a captain on court, and the hard part is now with the rules.
Yes, exactly right.
This sounds awful going back in our day. You do.
So you need to have, once again, strategies in play for this. You need to be in tune with the game. You need to understand that this is the moment here where you don't go in your shell, you actually step it up.
That's right.
And because that point you made earlier that maybe Jags haven't won for a while, they haven't quite evolved yet and learned how to do it. So somebody like a Lauren Gibbons, who's won a premiership at Oakdale, and then you've got Mira who's come back from WA and won a premiership. These are the girls that you'd be looking to in these situations to really just settle things down.
So it'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know what Jim does feedback, but Kelsey Williams has taken the past 4 shots in her prime position of straight in front of the post. So, you know, what would we be wanting to say to, I mean, I know if I was a goalkeeper, I'd be wanting to say, don't let her get there. Whatever you do, you've either got to play in front of her and force her away, or work the dodge hard enough that she's got to exit that circle. You know?
Oh, it's another turnover to Tango now. There's a bit of confusion in there, so they're
Second
really
lead.
confusing them.
Yeah, slow second lead coming.
I think Tango did really well on getting the
nice spin
Amber,
roll. There's
the
a
goal
second
shooter.
roll.
Yeah,
Sorry,
she did it. No, that
spoke
was
over
fantastic.
the top of you then. I was just commentating on your rolls.
I was just going to back up your point of Kelsey needs to come out of the ring. Like the goal defence for Jags has to get her on the move. Can't just leave her planting in her favourite position. And Michelle, we spoke to Jim earlier, didn't we? And we spoke about that sort of role of what Kelsey likes to do. And he thought he had a good... Oh, the umpire's gone down. Hopefully he's
We've
all
got
right.
an injury break for the umpire there. He's not laughing, luckily. He's not on mic.
No.
Half the time you hear them laughing when they're falling over on the ground, Scott, and they can't umpire for a minute.
Oh, so true. But I know Jim did mention that he thought that the matchup was good, that he was really comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And we just needed to make sure that the goalkeeper, I suppose, did it for 4 quarters. And maybe she's just dropped off the pace a little bit. And that happens with youth. So you need a senior person to just pull you back
Would you be tempted to put Laura Shriven back? Well, you reckon it might take the drive away, but I mean, she's a very smart player and she's actually a really good physique.
Well, here's one here for you, Michelle. Isn't there strategies you can do on a centre pass with your goal defence without actually putting the goalkeeper bib on her so she can match up on Kelsey? Maybe tell your viewers what you could do.
So explain to me what you said again, from a centre pass?
Yeah, like the goalkeeper comes off onto the goal attack, but doesn't go into the centre third.
You actually just switch, or the other thing you can actually do is open up the line. So we actually get the goalkeeper to sit out of the circle and make it look like the pass is actually open.
Oh, there you go. She just got one.
There you go. And let them put the ball into it.
Maybe she can hear you up here, Michelle.
There you go.
Good work.
So, look, there's lots of different strategies, but at the end of the day, it is also the responsibility of the players out the front to shut the options down on the circle edge.
Oh, 100%. And at the moment, that is flying down. And their strongest point all along was turning that ball off the centre pass.
See,
they were throwing into hands and everything. Jags were working so hard, and they've just let it slip out now to, is that 9 goals?
That's 9.
Yeah, they've got to reel it back.
Yeah, really want probably a stoppage in play here.
You think Jim would be hoping for this last 1 minute and 40 seconds to go pretty quick so he can get his troops together and just sort of settle them down a little bit?
So what changes would you make, Scott? You know, they've got nothing to lose. They're 9 down. Would you bring Amber back on? Where do you think the deficiencies are for Jags at this point?
Yeah, I don't think it's broken down totally in the circle.
No.
I think what's happened, though, is that Tango have really changed their structures in defence and it's working for them.
Yep.
So they need to work out now, Jags, is this the group of players that can work to a different structure, or does he need to change it up? Because they need to change it now. It's clearly not working. I don't think it's BJ, though. I don't think she's doing anything wrong. She just might need the advice a little bit more of maybe coming out of the circle or creating an extra option. Adele was doing the sweeping role really well before, but you don't need to sweep when you've got a moving goal shooter. So maybe Adele needs to be told some different strategies as well of how she needs to change it up a little bit. Oh, here we go. We've got
a time. It's probably a little bit close to the end of the...
3 seconds
the other
left
thing
on the
is,
clock.
I'd really like to see from a defence perspective.
Here we go. Did you get those changes, Michelle?
Oh, here we go.
I think that's McDonald.
Amber Heard back. Is that
come on?
Amber Heard back onto goal attack.
Goal attack. Here you go.
Yeah, it is. And just a quiet word from Jim. I think he's actually just using it as an opportunity, a little bit of instruction to Adele.
Oh, yes. Good pick-up, Michelle.
So he's over there just giving her a few hints on what to do, and I think he's just giving an Amber a run out there so he can get that feedback to her instantaneously. And again, nice
well
setup.
done, Jess Ward. That was really good read. Jess Ward is a great hunter of the ball. That is her strength. So at the moment, she's got a mover that wants to come out as well. So that's actually bringing Jess into the game. Oh, that's a rush shot by Kelsey.
Very nice pick-up from defence, considering we're at the end. of that third quarter. Wow.
Oh, Michelle. Wow,
She's opened up a bit now, Scott.
Has it ever? We didn't really see that coming from the first quarter to the second. We saw a few cracks open in the second.
Yeah.
But in the third there, wow, that was like a canyon. So from Jim's point of view, he's got a bit of work to do here with the girls, just to reset them. Because you know what? Their good is good enough.
Yeah, it is.
But can they sustain it?
We've spoken a fair bit about attack, from my perspective, especially today, about the attack in the forward lines. But what we haven't seen a lot of, and that is match conditioning, one-on-one defence down court.
Yes,
So
100%. You can't go past one-on-one.
You can't go past one-on-one. And what Tango have got now is some momentum coming down the court. They've got strong drives, their timing's good, they're connecting, but we haven't seen them being held up.
No.
So now it's up to the goal attack, goal shooter, wing attack to really start putting some pressure on that defensive line coming out so they get a bit of a hold up and not so much speed. And I think that's going to really assist if they can get that back in their game.
I agree. And also from a fitness point of view, to play one-on-one defence, it does take a lot out of you. It's quite taxing. So maybe Jim would know this better than I would, but I used to like to run 5 minutes of hard one-on-one D, and then I'd do a little bit of a sag or zone or something for 5 minutes, and then finish off the quarter with 5 minutes of hard one-on-one D. I just think you can't go past it. So from my personal point of view, Jags need to get that back.
Yeah, we speak about, I mean, every team that I coach, if it's from the Diamonds right through even to Pulteney, where I'm working at the moment, we almost say to our attacking players, shut down. We use the word shut down. We want the attacking players, when they're defending, that ball coming down the court, that they're actually delaying. We're not seeing a lot of that.
No.
Not seeing a lot of turnovers from our wing attack. Did early.
Yes.
But as the game's gotten on and a bit of confidence has come up in the attack, must be our coaching up here sort of guiding that attacking end.
Yes, I agree.
Now we need to start, and that's hard. Fourth quarter, they're tired. But like you say, that first 5 minutes needs to shut them down. Really shut Tango down.
If I was the Jags coach at the moment, I'd be looking at what Tango's strengths are.
Yeah.
And like you said, shut down their strengths.
Yeah.
You've got to be looking at the players that are setting up the play. And we identified that Jess Paradiso was doing so much work out front.
Yep.
And now Kelsey's winning the one-on-ones quite easily under the post. So the goalies are really starting to get a connection together. So from Jags' point of view, they've got to stop that connection. When they started doubling up on Jess on the centre passes, we actually think, or I think that played in Tango's hands.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we were speaking before about how Jess needs to get the centre pass and you know, she'll get worn out and the goal defence is doing such a wonderful job, and then bang, all of a sudden it changed a little bit. So I don't think that tactic worked very well.
No. So here we go. We've got the umpires coming out, and we have got Amber back on at shooter. So they're going back to their original lineup. So let's have a look what happens in that forward line.
Oh no, they've got BJ at goal attack.
And BJ at goal attack. So I've taken Adele off. And
Adele is off. Mira Given as well has come off the court. And O'Donnell is at wing attack. We've got the defensive end looks the same. So unfortunately you didn't get Scriven to goalkeeper.
No.
But look at that.
There
she
you
wins
go.
the one-on-one
There
on
you go.
Kelsey. Michelle, you should coach.
I don't think I've done much of that, actually.
No, but that was a perfect move by
Yeah,
Laura
it was.
Scriven. That was so good to watch.
Come
That's
out.
what you want from your defenders, is to get that front spot and be able to hold the front spot even on a roll and have a go at the high ball. Her eyes never deviated off that ball at all.
Oh, her shot with that closed hand. I can see the little spin on her hand. It's just not opening up.
No.
So that'll be something for training this week. We might go and talk to Jim. We might go and talk to Jim after. No, I'm only kidding.
Let's have a little bit of a look at the Tango
straight through the
team.
top.
Tango have made some changes
So
as
hold
well.
them up. Well, this is where we want that shutdown to happen. So we want to stop those drives coming and play the one-on-one
Well,
and
the
take
hands
away.
up is looking good. But to get back to the change at the
nice
moment
work.
is
Very
that
nice work.
we actually have Paris Vince playing her third position. No, sorry, Paris Vince. That is a blast from the past. If you're listening, Paris Vince, I coached you back in the day. But no, Paris Sinclair is playing her third position tonight.
She is.
What a versatile young lady to be able to play all three. But
And
she's
especially
moved
in one
into
game.
wing attack, and I mean, Shay Reville was taken to the bench, and Nicole Bruce Gordon has come back on in the wing defence role.
Contact, you'd have to have called that, wouldn't you? That was a fairly big contact on
Paris is
Paris.
not happy
yeah,
either.
absolutely.
She's got every right
She
to
missed
question that
that.
umpire.
Yeah, didn't see it. I think her eyes were elsewhere at that time.
Well, sometimes, and I'd love to have an umpire up here to ask them, but do they try to square up the game when it becomes a bit of a blowout?
That is very controversial, Scott Waddington. Jackie would be hating you by saying that at the moment, Jackie Blythe. She'd be sitting there saying, no, square it up. I'm happy with my lead.
True. But if I got any past umpires like Dusty or Gemma listening at the moment, they would have heard that conversation from me before. I apologise if I offended anyone, though.
I never used to speak to the umpires.
No, not much at all, Michelle. I think as coaches, we always like to make out we're better umpires.
Yeah, true. Okay, so now we've got Paris doing a lot more work on that line. Nice drive. Second lead up through Jess.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, even there. Let's see Kelsey come out. We had a beautiful open middle channel and Kelsey sat back in that circle. I'd love to see her take that space.
Well, they gave her all the room in the world to come out then, and she still chose to sat in there.
Yep.
Great turnover back by Paris. I tell you what, she's had an impact at wing attack already.
And there are people out there going, why would we want to get Kelsey out of the circle when we're up by 10 goals and she's shooting like she is? Very, very good point.
Why do we?
Except for the fact that when we play against teams that are slightly more advanced at times, we may need the extra movement. We may need some versatility. So it's always good to have plan B up your sleeve as well.
Yeah, it keeps the defenders guessing.
Yeah,
it makes them think, oh my God, I actually have to come out of the ring with Kelsey.
Yep.
And what tends to happen, because the goalies are in the circle all the time, defenders just sit back and they don't follow the goal shooter because she doesn't come out.
Yeah.
You get her out, they'll start to follow her. It opens up the space for the goal attack.
Look down. So we've looked sideways twice. We've looked sideways 3 times. Let's go straight to the goal shooter and just open that ring up straight away.
Well, now they've got the big goal shooter back on, Amber. So she's a target under there.
She is.
They're down by 10 goals, so they've got to get the ball into her as quick as they possibly can. So what's the best way to do that, Michelle? Fast ball, direct down the court. Yeah. Exactly right.
I'm really enjoying the structure of the Tango forward line. When we spoke early in the game, we spoke about the 3 channels. We spoke about reading the middle channel or reading where the channels were and making sure they're covered. Now, here they're not.
Oh, another turnover. Wing attack, getting an intercept. Look at that, Michelle.
How good is that? Yes. We did ask the Jags wing attack to take those. We said, come on.
We did.
But I'm happy with any wing attack that takes an interception.
Oh, I just love the fact that we've got attacking players defending.
Yeah, I love it too.
We've always been in that position as coach where we think sometimes the goal attacks and wing attacks get a bit lazy in D, but not tonight. We're seeing it from both sides.
We've got just some really good, a good opportunity for everyone to have a look at the difference at the moment, and that's not negative against Jags.
Sorry, Michelle, I just saw a warning then to one of the Jags players for persistent breaking. So I just thought I'd better make a point there, because as soon as the umpire puts her hand up like that, you've got to be wary.
Yeah, and there's one warning, that's it. So let's have a look at the forward line. Break again. Just those little silly errors that creep in.
It is. Coach killers, we call them, don't we? Coach killers.
Yeah, we absolutely do. So, stepping or foot on the line or breaking.
And look, no doubt their intent is there. Like the warning to a defensive player, well, all she wants to do is try to win the ball. From an attacking point of view, the break means that she's just making her leads too early. So it can be fixed, sorry. It's something that's not broken, but the discipline out on the court, it just has to remain the same.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this forward line. You know, they've got really good drive. They've got lots of options.
Nice goalie,
really good space. A lot of space sitting there. Let's have a look now. So we've got a bit more congestion happening
here. Look,
here.
Goal shooter come out of the ring. That was a good reset.
Yep. Good. Come again, Amber. Keep coming.
Nice sweep. Look at that.
Yeah,
BJ,
much better.
Great work. And a nice dish off. Yeah. That's what we wanted to see a bit earlier in the third quarter.
And finish it off. Yep. Nice work.
Okay, well, hopefully Jags can build a bit of momentum in the last 9 minutes and start to get some score on the board.
Nice work.
Nice work by Kelsey then. Did you see what she did? Yeah. She actually held the space so the goalkeeper couldn't get to the mid-quarter. So that's once again a goalie doing work. She does hold the front space quite a bit. When you look at her, I mean, you're probably a lot more in tune with what her play is. Well done, Sarah Raper. But I'd like to see her take the defender out to the edge of the circle and expose the back space at times as well. It's nothing worse to keep the defender guessing. Every time I change, where's the new space she's trying to explode? So I'd love to see her just, take the defender for a bit of a run and then explore another space of the circle, because she does like that front space. Oh, look at that. As soon as you said that, that's her front space. Yep. And did you notice she only had to take one step to the ball to get the ball.
That's right.
From a defender's point of view, you wouldn't be happy with that if you're the defensive coach.
No.
You'd be saying to your defender, look,
And there's
don't
a
give
timeout
Kelsey
here.
the front spot.
No.
Oh, sorry, timeout. Is that an
Timeout.
injury?
We've got an injury. Can't quite pick up.
Oh, that's the wing defense.
That's wing defence, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Just rolled her ankle, just slightly.
Oh, she doesn't look good on the sidelines.
No,
No,
she
not
doesn't.
at all. That's not
Scriven looking down court. Yes, come through the middle. Yes, Amber. And that's a little bit of speed on that drive. And then from there, we've got the top open. And I just think they're not picking the right options at this point. They had a beautiful top open, which could have just then dropped in. And that's that vision.
That's confidence as well, isn't it, to give that
confidence
ball?
and vision. So again, if we have someone at the top, we want to be able to swing and bang straight under that post. So we've got two strong options. So
that's a triangle back at work then. That's
is.
much better play. That's what they did in the first quarter so well. So I know Jim did mention to us as well that there's 5 new players
nice
in this
timing,
lineup.
Paris.
So it takes a bit of time to get 5 players gelled into a team.
Yeah, it does.
You don't want to be doing that.
And he did say that, Scott. He said it's very hard. 5 new players. They're almost rebuilding all over again. So very difficult.
Yeah, so they've got to capitalise on this now, Michelle.
Nice drive.
Nice
work. Another drive coming through from Amber if you need.
Amber's just sitting at the top of the circle.
Is.
It's reset and then go again. Reset, go again. Don't just sit and hover in the place where you want to get the ball.
And what happens if you're playing on her as a goalkeeper and she isn't committing is that you're then eyeing off the wing attack drive.
Oh, 100%.
And so you've got to commit to something to keep your goalkeeper busy.
That's
a nice roll, but really well read.
Front positioning. See,
Very
that's what
well
we want from our defenders. That was much, much better work by Willis. And I think sometimes she just loses her concentration a little bit.
Give and go. Come on. Oh, I think almost a bit of a step.
I think a step too.
I think so too. Yes, Amber. A bit of a contact from Jess in there from
Jess
behind.
is sort of giving her that front spot at the top because she knows she's not going to shoot it. But they've got to be careful for the dish off. So if you are going to do that from a defender's point of view, you've got to shut down that next little
Look at
pass.
this hand. Look at her hand.
There's no
Just
follow
not
through on
following
that.
through.
No.
Yeah, so
no gooseneck. And who was the best player in the well, I think in the Suncorp League that has that flick?
You're not talking about the Nat Medhurst.
I am. Definitely. I love Nat Medhurst, how she plays.
Beautiful action.
Yeah, has a lovely shot at goal.
So there she is, pop it in, and she's got to keep
front
moving
positioning,
then.
Jess Ward, very good positioning.
And what Amber's not doing is she's not repositioning.
No, she did that time on Sarah, but she didn't do it on Jess earlier.
So she might get beaten. What's the next position? What's the next trap? How can I reposition on the defender to be open again? So
sometimes we tell our attackers to defend the defender and then roll out of that defence mood to actually get the ball. So definitely the attackers haven't stopped trying, have they, Michelle?
No.
They're still working hard. The Jags team is still putting in a lot of work. That's a great hold again by Amber.
Yeah, that's a better shot.
You know what? She's come off the bench, and I think she's really given them a target in there. BJ, I think, is working in front of her really well.
Well, they've actually...
Tango's got the twins to come on.
Oh,
sorry, Michelle. Yeah.
So we've got the Noy twins, both of them, or one? Come on, just then both. So we've got...
The bookends, as I called them last year.
We've got one at goal defence. You'll know which one's which. Jazz and...
We've got...
Jazz playing in goal attack.
And Bella. Isabella.
Goal shooter. And Bella back in goal defence. And how good is this? I remember, look, how many years? 4 or 5 years ago, they were in the TID squad when I was working out at Tango. And they were only 15 or 14, and here they are playing Premier League. So fantastic that Tango's been able to bring through some of those young players through the TID system and now giving them a game in Premier League. So
100% right, Michelle. We've got Charlotte Veer also that 5 years ago was playing B1s, but come through the TID program.
She did. As did Paris Sinclair. Was actually in that same group.
Yes.
Of the TID group 5 years ago.
There you go. It was a very talented youngsters. I think they played in a couple of premierships in the inters and juniors comp. So it's lovely to see Tango giving opportunities to their kids coming through their development program.
And that's what, that's the strength of having a Premier League club, is being able to hopefully hold on to your own players, do the work through the grassroots, and then having the loyalty. And that's one of those big words these days, is do we use enough loyalty? The players quite often don't have loyalty.
I think sport in general, we question that, Michelle.
We do. And it's lovely to see some of these players, and particularly for a club like, or both Jags and Tango that aren't in the city, to retain some of their juniors coming through the system. So well done on the
Well,
clubs.
no doubt that's Jim. That's Jim setting up his program and making sure that he can give the youngsters of the club opportunities at this level. Sometimes you go through a rebuilding phase where you got to suffer a few losses before you can get to the top again. So no doubt Jim would have a strategy in place, recruiting a couple of senior heads like he's done this year.
Absolutely.
To actually work with the juniors and build up something that's for the future, that might be sustainable for the next 3 years in the competition. So Tango found the circle edge. Well, here we go. Jazzy's putting up a shot. Oh,
Ow.
Straight in.
What a beautiful shot.
You talk about shooting actions before,
that was a lovely
and the Jags
action.
players, don't quite have it. Yeah, well,
Yes,
Jazzy's
Amber,
got it.
nice drive out of the circle. And again, now we want that, I reckon that needed a swing to the top.
I agree, yes.
So she needed to reposition, get top so the
it went
ball
from
can sit
pocket
low.
to 45. It was a little bit too far.
And too much high and loop in the ball. So, you know, we'd love that ball staying low. Defenders want that ball sitting in the air because all they need to do is get the finger on it and give it a tip.
Yes,
so
that's right.
you know, really want those triangles to be well established so we can get that speed on the ball.
I agree.
Nice shot.
And we speak all the time to our defenders by disrupting the play, that you don't need to get an intercept on every possession, but what you need to do is have that intent to actually have a crack at the ball and make an impact on that possession, basically. Well, Tango moving the ball around quite a bit.
A nice hold.
Nice
well,
hold.
She was lucky though. I thought she almost contacted there.
That's $1, Michelle. She had an air ball, didn't touch the ring. If
But
the
did you see the
penalties are
bum?
still in there,
As
yes,
a
very
defending,
good hold.
I reckon she used
do
the
you?
hip and the bum a bit. I would have said to the umpire, come on, she can't just use her hip and bum to push you out the way. I'm a bit of a defence lover, you see.
Of course you're going to
Give
look on
those
the
defenders
defensive
go,
side.
oh,
Look,
nice
the other twin
intercept.
now's got
Well
the
done.
intercept. So Bella's got one, so it's like, Jazz, you missed that goal. Don't worry, I'll get
I'll
it back
back you
for
up.
you. That's sisters looking after each other. Nice
done.
pick up there off the ground too. Well done. I tell you what, Jags are fighting this out.
They are.
They haven't given up one little
No,
bit, so
they
Jim would
haven't.
be happy with that.
Beautiful pass.
He's just got to find a way to sustain it for 4 quarters.
Yeah. I think probably just a little bit of work at training around their connections moving into the forward line on top of the circle.
Yes.
And also, I think their triangles and just being able to use a bit more speed on the ball around the circle edge will open their shooters up a little bit more at training. So I'm sure he'll watch this and he'll... Oh, that's a beautiful intercept. Is that Laura Shriven? Yeah. That's a beautiful intercept.
Is that the wing defence off the bench?
Yeah, it is.
So it's not Willis?
Gervin.
Oh, it's Gervin's come on to play.
She's come on to play wing
defence.
We're a
Oh,
bit
there you
slow
go.
with that pickup. That was
Sorry.
a beautiful intercept.
Sorry, people. We missed that one.
Yeah, we did miss it. That's hard when you're not getting your updated team list, Scott. We've got to be really quick on our thinking. Nice
Well,
tip.
don't worry. When we get into the Suncorp League and we've got all these people looking around helping us out, we'll be much better.
And the stats flashing up on our screen.
Exactly right.
Do you know
They've
what,
got it
though?
so easy.
We're very, very, very lucky that we have got Spacequake Sports bringing this live to digital, you know, free to air, and also I think a delayed telecast on Channel 44. Fantastic for netball that at least we've got a platform that we can show our sport off. So
Isn't
well
that
done.
wonderful for the game of netball?
Yeah.
Because I think it's a wonderful game. I've had, 3 daughters all play at different levels of netball, all enjoyed it at different levels, and be able to have Spacequake Sports on board to actually provide an opportunity for people that can't make it to the game. You know, some might come from interstate or some might be too far away in the country. They can get a chance to watch it
Absolutely.
live. It's a wonderful thing.
So we're almost ready to wrap up this game, Scott, but I wanted to give you an opportunity.
Well, can Jags get one late one? No, Tango's got the ball back. Gee, that was a bit
and
rough.
a quick one in. Who's your MVP? Like, just, you know, this is not going anywhere, but who would you give? You know, both teams.
For both teams today?
Yeah.
Look, I think it's been a very interesting battle, but I think Jess Paradiso has been the steadying force, I suppose. She's had a few different wing attacks she's had to work with tonight, but I really think she's provided the drive and the opportunity for Kelsey to shoot a lot of goals.
And I'm cutting you off slightly there just to say, look, what a fantastic game. You know, Tango have pulled away 57-40 for Jags, and they'd be very happy with that win. But I think so too. The creativity that Jess provided and the leadership she provided up in that forward line was pretty outstanding. I think Sarah Raper came into her own, as did Jess in the end.
She had a good game.
Had a good game. And for Jags, interesting one. They had different people shine at different times, but not a lot of consistency over the 4
Alicia
quarters.
Willis in that first half was best player on court.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was amazing at wing defence. She was getting all these wing attacks moved at Tango. She was creating opportunities, to really own that spot. And I know from a coach's point of view, if you've got to make 3 changes in one position, you're probably thinking you're losing that position.
Yeah.
But unfortunately couldn't sustain that for the whole game. But I still think she played well. And I think Lauren Gibbons in the centre also was a steadying force for them. Provided them a much drive. But once again, like the whole Jags team, just didn't feel it, flow through for the whole 4 quarters of the game.
No, I agree. And look, it's been a fantastic opportunity to be here tonight. I'm very proud that I'm going to be looking after the Monday night games. We hopefully have you back, Scott. And
never know.
You never know. So we hope you've enjoyed our broadcast. It's very new for us, for Scott and myself, and I've really appreciated having you, Scott. And we look forward to seeing you on Friday night, where we have Metro Jets and Woods Panthers. So we look forward to that next game coming up.
No worries. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thanks,
It's been
Scott.
an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.